All right, for our third one, this one is actually going to be a lot easier if we just cut it into pieces and add it together, but we're going to do both ways. So this one we're going to have quite a few things that we have to add together here. So I'm just going to start cutting this into rectangles. And again, it doesn't matter how I could cut this into probably 10 rectangles if I wanted to. Find the areas and add them together. But I would think the easiest way to do this is to have as few rectangles as possible. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to go right across here. I'm going to go right across here. And I'm going to go right here. This gives me 4 rectangles. Now, the toughest part is you've really got to be careful here. You've got to make sure that the sides that are in red, those are the sides. But since we cut it actually into rectangles, you're going to have to make sure that you have the sides of just the rectangles and not the sides of the whole thing. Some of them will be the same, but some of them will be a little different, so you kind of have to take that into account here. Now, the first thing I want to do is I just want to find the perimeter quick before we start cutting and writing some new numbers in here. So 14, 18, 20, 22, 24, and remember, we don't want this because that's not the outside of it. 24, we just want the outside for the perimeter. 24, let's see here, 29, 30, 35, 37, 39, 42. Okay, so we have 42, looks like, for the perimeter, 42 centimeters. Now we need the area. So let's just start with this first guy right up here. This rectangle right here. The sides that are listed are going to be the sides of that rectangle because that's 4 right there, that's 3 right there. That gets me an area of 12 for that one. Okay, let's come down to the bottom here. This is the rectangle we're focusing on. 4 by 2, 8. Okay, we got that. Easy so far. Okay, this one's also going to be easy. This is the rectangle we're focusing on. 5 by 1, 5. Okay. Now the last one's going to be a little bit trickier. For this last one, we're going to want, and I don't have any colors left, I don't think, except for yellow. I don't even know if we can see yellow. Yeah, I guess we can. We want this, okay? Here's what's tricky about it. This right here, we don't actually have, okay? This right here, we don't actually have, because it's not 10, because 10's all the way up and down there. This whole thing's 10. We just want, remember, just this right here. Okay, so just this right here, we're going to have to do a little math to figure it out here. But if all the way up and down is 10, if I carry this side over to here, that would be 3. If I carry this side over to here, that would be 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. And then this would also have to be 5 by itself because it's going to have to equal 10. So this side right here is going to be 5. 3 plus 5 plus 2 is 10. So one of our sides is 5. Now we need this little side right here. That shouldn't be too tricky. This whole thing right here, all the way across here is 4. It's 2 right here, so 2 plus 2 would have to be 4. So that's going to be 2. So 5 and 2 would be 10. Now we've got all the areas. We just need to add them together. 12 and 8 is a 20, plus 10 is 30. Add the 5 is 35. So we've got 35 square centimeters going on here, which means that we can fit 35 of these guys, because it's a centimeter on each side, into this shape right here. All right, now we're going to do this the other way. We're going to do it as if it was a whole thing here. And this is going to be a little trickier, but that's fine. We're just going to do it anyways because you guys can handle it. All right, I'm going to draw this so it's a full rectangle. Okay, if we do that, let's see. It looks like we got 6 all the way across here. Is that correct? Let's see. 6, that'd be 7 all the way across there, I think. So I think we go 7 all the way across there, but let's check just to make sure. I've got this ruler. I might as well use it. No, it is 6. 6 all the way across there. So our rectangle is a 6 by, and we already know the up and down here. The up and down is going to be 10. So we got a 6 by 10. Okay. Okay, so that's 60. So the whole thing is 60. So now we need to take out the pieces here. And again, we just have to focus on what are the pieces here. And we know that this whole like L shape is not actually part of the shape. Neither is this. So let's cut these into squares here. I'll go straight down there and straight down here. Now we need to find the area of this, 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 and that. Out of 3. There you go. Okay. So let's take a stab at this here. Going up and down here, that would be 3 plus 2. That would be 5 right there. And then this little part would have to be 2. 5 times 2 is 10. So we're going to have to take out 10. So we're going to end up subtracting 10. Okay. Now if we come down to this part right here, looks like this is, well, if the whole thing's 10, and we have 5 and 1, that's 6. This has to be 4. Okay. So now we have 4, and that we already established was 2 up there. So 4 times 2 is 8. So we're going to have to take out an 8. Now we got these two little guys right here. For the two little boxes here, it looks like we've got 2 and 2. So this has to be 2 by 2, which would be 4. And this is going to be, let's see, 2 by 2, which is also 4. So we had to take out 2 4s. So if we take out 60 minus 10 is going to be 50. Well, let's just add all these together and take it all out at once here. 18, 22, 26. Okay, if I do the subtraction there, or let's see, in 3. Okay, 34 centimeters squared. Let's go back to our original here. Oh, we're real close. 35 centimeters squared is what I got here, which means that I must have just calculated slightly off on one of the things here. I'm not really sure which one it is, but for now we're just going to go with this here. Okay, and that's not such a big deal because we're off by 1. But again, all I did there was make the entire shape, found out what it was, which was this, and then I subtracted out these 4 pieces that aren't actually in the shape. And remember, the tough part about subtracting out those pieces is that the sides that are labeled may not necessarily be the sides of the actual rectangle. So I think it really helps to kind of trace around to see what am I actually looking at here. This is the rectangle I'm looking at right here. Figure it out separately. This is the rectangle I'm looking at here. Figure it out separately. And I think that will really help. All right. Now, this is the one that I would like you to try on your own here. I've got the sides labeled, and I'm going to do this both ways when I give the explanation. I'm going to give it as if you just cut it into pieces, which is fine, and add them together. And I'm going to give it as if you make it into a rectangle and then take out the pieces. I don't care which way you do it. And actually, I would prefer that you do it both ways just so I can see that you could do it both ways. But you should get the same thing either way. Now, you're not going to have this ruler down here, but you shouldn't need it because when you split into pieces, you should be able to figure out what those missing sides are. Why don't you take a look at this, pause this, try to do it both ways, and then come back to the video and see how you did.